allow food, cement, and essentials to come into the country. Two, emergency measures to ensure food security around the country. Of course, ensuring that the lands are also secured in terms of security. Away from this, and still taking some of their 17 demands from the federal government, they're proposing an immediate removal of the collection of levies, fees, dues, and tolls from petty traders. Immediate implementation of October 2, 2023 agreement reached with the federal government also. Another one is the immediate purchase and deployment of CNG electric buses across the states of the Federation. Immediate deployment of large number of CNG conversion kits. Composition of a team of relevant stakeholders to monitor and supervise all federal government intervention funds. And there's a long list of those things they're demanding from the government. I'll take a few more. Reversal and suspension of further increases in school fees across the country. There's also that. Direct all state governments to immediately pay all owed wages, wage awards, allowances, gratuities, and pensions. These are the demands they're making of the federal government. Of course, it's only be suspended momentarily. They can kick it off in a matter of weeks.
If you look at labor, by virtue of the name it bears, I think some of the demands which they have put up for the federal government and Nigerians, some of those demands are valid, and some of them also need to be given a second look and a second thought, scrutinized and evaluate so much that we can have the best of this demands being implemented. But for me, I think some of those demands too are out of line, because opening our borders too, you already the homegrown industries have already more or less they've gone moribund. The little one that are in existence now, trying to still keep up with the production and everything, and with what they are producing, selling at our own markets here. If you allow such products to also come in, definitely we want to kill the industries.
Would it drive down inflation?
It can't.
Well, there are more goods.
It can't, because that is going to have an effect on the dollar, foreign exchange as well. So we cannot reprobate and approbate again. You cannot be going forward and going backward at the same time. A step forward, 3 steps backward. No, that's one of the reasons why I said some of their demands are valid, some are not valid. Because if we want to have it, why shouldn't Labour say state government should ensure that the farmers are given loans, grants? Are you getting me? Given equipment, free equipment, to be able to farm, to be able to of course we are in the planting season now. Rain have just started. If you want to plant maize now, this is the best time to do so. Are you getting me? In 90 days, you harvest your maize. If you don't want to harvest it as a fresh maize, you can allow it to dry on the stalk, and before after 3 or 4 months, then you remove it and begin to. So this is the time to do. And if any government this time around want to have an importation of equipment, they can still do it within the next 2-3 months. Within the next 2-3 weeks. Are you getting me? So these are the ways to go, rather than to be allowing borders to be open. Of course, the borders are already open. Don't let us deceive ourselves. Most of the borders are open. Even if they are not open by the government, these people know yes, they know how to bring in all these things. So what are we now talking again? If the borders are open, definitely all nonsensical goods are coming in, and we do refer to ourselves as a country that cannot produce anything, even toothpicks.
All right.
People begin to import toothpicks again.
All right, just a moment. Don't forget that the Buhari administration also shut borders to ensure that we grow what we have in Nigeria. How well has that played out for us? But I need to turn to Ojasokwe. But before I turn to you, I probably should list out some of the other things that they are demanding from the federal government. Also, they are asking for a drastic reduction and removal of import duties paid on essential drugs and medical consumables. They're also asking for cash transfers to the vulnerable with verifiable and inclusive social register to begin immediately. An immediate tax holiday to all workers earning from 100,000 naira per month, and of course below, 100,000 per month and below. Also, you have the removal of VAT on basic consumer items. Directed purchase and use of made in Nigeria goods and services. Immediate reduction in the cost of governance in Nigeria at all levels to reflect the nation's tight fiscal position. I need to turn to you, Jasper. What do you make of these demands?
Well,
Which one are Which one is realistic? Which one isn't?
well, most of them are very reasonable and valid demands, and where there is the political will, virtually all of them are realistic. You know, they are realistic demands. However, I'll beg to differ with Olufemi Popoola on the issue of opening of border for selected items, because one of the things we have seen, which is why the federal government is, making so much noise about hoarding of goods, is that there is also scarcity of some of these items, because there has been increase in demands and shortage of supplies. So opening the borders, particularly for rice, wheat, will go a long way. A temporary opening, like they proposed, will go a long way, to force down the price of a few items. And once we achieve that, in the interim, the federal government can now talk about mass production and how to make our farmers secure in their farms. Because we talked about this last week, that's one of the things that has led to the present situations, because virtually all farmers, they have absconded from their farms. They have to run for their lives. They have not the level of insecurity, particularly in the middle belt, where you have a lot of farming activities have been suspended. So federal government must be deliberate in making sure that farmers are secured on their farms.
Right.
Then you supply them with modern equipment and seeds to jumpstart this farming season. But opening of the border, temporary opening of the border to allow importation of selected items will go a long way to force down the prices of these few items, and by implication, people will sigh for relief. While the federal government is looking for lasting solutions to some of these, particularly the cost of food items.
So looking for solutions, not implementing some of the solutions they found.
These are just the demands of the NLC.
Yeah.
Federal government is not giving us any holistic solution yet.
Let's open the phone lines. Your reactions are needed at this point in time. 08032321059, 08077.